And welcome back to the Forklift Certified Gambling Podcast. I'm your host, Forklift Certified Gambling, with my co-host.
And the G, we back for season 3. Didn't think we'd be here, but we here. What's
Yes,
up, everyone? What's up?
With our special guest,
What's up down yonder?
What's
Mr.
up, everyone? How
Fantasy.
you doing?
Yes, sir. Returning this year, Mr. Fantasy Special. So we're in here talking about the AFC North, y'all. We got an expert. We're AFC South adjacent, so we had to get someone who knows actually what they're talking about. So we're gonna run through the season win totals real quick, division odds, little conference odds, and then we'll finish off with some player props. I'm gonna let Wilson lead it off. Wilson, who do you like to take this division? I can see the jersey already, but realistically, who's taking the North?
Realistically, who do I like? I mean, I think it could be a toss-up among the top three in the AFC North, depending, who stays healthy. I really think, even though I love the Browns and that's who I'm rooting for, and I think they're going to make it happen, they do have one of the hardest schedules this year. So I'm actually thinking Cincinnati Bengals, they're out on a mission this year. They were at the Super Bowl about 2 years ago, whatever, 3 years ago. And they kind of just been banged up ever since. I mean, this year I think they could go that run again, and if not, I think Bengals could win the division. Browns get cheeky number 2 wild card, and I think even Baltimore could slide in at another wild card. Or, I don't know if you guys look too much. Baltimore they didn't re-sign 3 of their starting offensive linemen. So I think in that stance with AFC North, it's a pretty football defensive division. So I think depending how the replacements for the Ravens offensive line, they could have potentially see a cheeky finish fourth. But it's going to be a tough. I think whoever could win majority of the AFC North games is probably going to win the division. I think kind of how the schedules are set up, everyone kind of has let alone just the AFC North, you play 6 games in that. So I think it'll be a very competitive just year. And I think you could even see someone representing, the AFC at the Super Bowl during, the 2024, 2025 year. So we'll see. I think, depending how the Deshaun Chubb combo actually look and who's healthy this year and if they could actually play. I mean, there's some dogs on that team.
Quarterback alive can actually stay on the field.
Yeah, horniest quarterback alive, one of the richest quarterbacks, in the league. I mean, he's got to earn it this year. We'll see. They gave him $230 million, and I don't think he's played like a $230 million QB yet. But I think this year, he has no excuse. We went out, got Judy, re-signed Amari, Njoku. We got weapons, so.
I like
balls in his hands now. It's not his balls out there anymore.
I like
it. I like what I'm hearing from the AFC North. Sounds like could be a toss-up. Like, not everyone's thinking. I mean, I'm just going off the mere fact that you got Derrick Henry, Lamar, and Zay Flowers. I think those are 3 player names that could probably. Yeah, well, I'm just saying those are 3. You can even put Mark Andrews in there, but that'd be really like. Big dude had one good year, haven't done really many things since. But you put those 3 names together, you got a pretty good triple threat, in my opinion. So with having that, I like that Baltimore is kind of favored, but like with you saying it not signing the lineman, that's gonna tie things up a bit. So you know what I gotta do, right? I gotta take the Cleveland. Cleveland at 5-1 to win the division. I just gotta do it, man. The Elf's up, baby. Brownie down. Gotta do what you do. Like you were saying, you got the weapons, and I actually got 3 I just got 3 player props for the Browns team this year just because they look too good to me. Don't mind me getting into those real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to start out with this. Myles Garrett last year cashed in for Defensive Player of the Year.
It ain't going to. He won last year?
It ain't going to hurt us again if we say he's going to go for 13.5 sacks or more. I think he's good for 15, maybe 16 if he keeps it up. But as long as he stays healthy and keeps that train going. So over 13.5 sacks, that's at -110, pushing that in there. Njoku, I think he's looking phenomenal. He hasn't really got the touchdowns that he's looking for, especially last year. He went on a really nasty drought. But I mean, he is getting strong. He's getting good. I think over 750.5 yards. I think that's kind of easy to do as long as, I mean, you don't
Yeah,
even
he's
have to.
balling with Flacco. We'll see if Watson can keep the
John
train
throws to
rolling.
him. Flacco found out who he was real quick.
Him and Flacco were connecting for like 100 a game, man. That was a scary connection.
Real quick. And then yeah, my last pick for the Browns that I'm really liking is the Amari Cooper over 5.5 touchdowns. That just seems like a give me. He could pop off for 2 or 3 in a game.
I mean, did a 4 last year.
I mean, he dropped 4 last year. I mean, I think it's the year. I mean, Browns in Super Bowl.
I mean, Amari Cooper.
Like that,
But yeah,
yeah.
FC North looking.
So you want the Browns Super Bowl odds? I got it right in front of me.
Nah.
If
nah,
you
I
Usually
really
waste that. I've thrown it
bring the
out.
wheelbarrow out.
I mean,
The
we'll
Cleveland
put the
Browns
big ball
are.
up there right now.
They're probably 5-1, 4-1.
Nah,
I think they've
they're
ranked
5
us
to
like
1 to win their division. There got to be at least like 15.
10. Yeah, 10. Well, dude, there's fucking real teams that have won the Super Bowl. You know,
Yeah, because I was
like
looking
the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are like 3 to 1 right now still.
I mean, they could do it again.
40 to 1. 40 to 1 for the Browns to win the Super Bowl.
Ooh, I kind of like that one.
It,
Now, they're offering.
I mean, hey, I mean, it's worth a sprinkle. It's worth a
Yeah,
sprinkle.
usually I throw that $20 every year on just that bet. Just donate to the casinos. That's what that bet is. That's
the books love us. The books are loving us, but they're gonna hate us this year.
That's a donation. That's like a February, March drunk bet. You make right around when football season ends. You're like, all right, let's do it for next year, and then you never cash out.
You gotta sprinkle, folks. That's the power of the sprinkle. It goes a long way because when it hits, hey, that 41 was always in your back of your pocket. You look like a genius.
Yeah.
All right. Let me run through it real quick. So I picked the wrong team last year. It was, of course, the year progression for Cincinnati. It was Baltimore's year all along. It's still probably Baltimore's year. Like Wilson was saying with the offensive line, I think they probably do see some regression, but their linemen were also old. I think Morgan Moses, he's like 30, low 30s, and I forget who else they lost on the other side. But I think still adding Derrick Henry and actually having a viable running back instead of J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards every week, I think the Ravens definitely got it this year. Their odds are, I believe, 145 over on DraftKings to win the division. And then, yeah, I think that's really who takes it. Cleveland is definitely in the building tonight. I'm off Cincinnati this year, and Pittsburgh's like a perennial 8-win team. I love Mike Tomlin. He's going to stretch out his 8 wins every single year, but I just can't take him to win the division.
Dude, they'd be the biggest just pop out of nowhere. I mean, dude, I don't know. I feel like Russ Greer's done, but that team's good enough around him where they could do something.
Yeah.
Especially with the Mike Tomlin too. Like,
I definitely think they're the dark horse in the running with having
every year. They still got one of the best defensive lines in the league.
Yeah, best defense. Like they got they got weapons in offense too. Like Pickens,
a couple points though.
They got probably a pretty solid offense line too.
And then we'll end it out with a couple little extra props to end the night. All right, so we got Baltimore Ravens over under 10.5 wins. I got under. It's a tough division. It's hard to squeak out 11 wins, especially after they did it last year. What do y'all think about the 10.5?
First thoughts, like I was saying earlier, dynamic duo, 3-headed dragon kind of thing. I think they can do it, but the real question is like when you start building these big good teams, can you always get everyone to mesh together? Every talented person wants to have the ball and pop off, and like we'll just see how that works out. So I think, like we're saying, tough division. I don't know. Like if it's their year, it's their year. So I'm feeling it. Nah, man, tighten up. They're going under.
All right, so under 10.5 wins over Cameron. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts, under.
Under 10.5. Wilson, what you think?
I'm gonna think the same thing. The under. I mean, I with like you said, shifting new offensive line. Like Cameron said, there's only one ball, and I mean they're all kind of at their peak time. I mean, I feel like D. Henry's probably got another year or two, so like they're trying to win right now, which, you know, could go one of two ways. I mean, I think whoever wins out kind of between those, like Cam said, three-headed dragon, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Ravens, like they're going to go far. So, I mean, it just depends. I feel like who kind of could last throughout the season too. I mean, Lamar was, you know, on and off last year just as much as Andrews, and I don't know, I haven't watched as much D. Henry's personal health, but I mean that, you know, reoccurring injuries for those guys seems kind of often too.
Yeah, it's a really all about who stays healthy in that tough division. I guess let's go through some quick odds real quick, or some quick little prop bets I want to throw out there just before the episode's over. I got Myles Garrett. He's got to repeat this year. Defensive Player of the Year, back to back. I don't know who did it. Did TJ Watt do it back to back? I know he's got two, but I don't know if he did it back to back. But Garrett back to back. Derrick Henry to lead the league in rushing touchdowns, plus 750. And give me T. Higgins. Give me the Tennessee boy to have a 1,000-yard year at plus 155. We got about a minute left, folks. Any last words on the AFC North?
Last thing I'm going to squeak in, Derrick Henry over 950 yards. The king is back, and he might actually be able to run somewhere.
Dude, I'm going to go with Jerry Jeudy over 7.5 touchdowns. Dude, he's going to be single guarded. Everyone's going to go double up against Amari. He's going to be working one-on-one. I think that could be a little fun one, you know, spice up your life. So
I like it. Well, you heard it here first, folks. This has been the Forklift Certified Gambling Podcast. Thank you to our special guest, Wilson, in the building.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Thank y'all for tuning in, folks. Peace.